The Silent Snowfall, in a small town in Vermont, winters always felt magical. The streets were lined with trees wrapped in frost, and by December everything glistened under a blanket of snow. Maplewood was quiet, the kind of place where the cold seemed to slow time. Emma Collins, a young writer, had returned to her hometown after years in the city. She told herself it was just for a week, to visit her dad and take a break from work. But deep down, Emma felt something was missing in her life, and Maplewood was the only place that felt steady. The night she arrived, the snow started to fall. From her old bedroom, Emma looked out the window, watching the flakes drift under the glow of the street lamps. It was so peaceful. She couldn't remember the last time she had slowed down enough to just watch snow fall. The next morning, Emma decided to take a walk. The air was crisp, the kind of cold that turned her cheeks pink, but she didn't mind. The town square was quiet, except for the crunch of snow under her boots. Everything seemed softer, calmer. She found herself by the pond where she used to skate as a kid. Sitting on a bench near the pond was an old man. He had a long white beard and a journal in his hands. He looked up as Emma passed. "Good morning," he said with a kind smile. "Good morning," Emma replied, pausing. She didn't usually talk to strangers, but there was something about him that felt familiar. "Beautiful day, isn't it?" the man said, gesturing to the snow. Emma nodded. "It is. Everything looks different in the snow." He chuckled. "That's the magic of winter. It covers the world's noise." Emma tilted her head. "Magic?" The old man patted the bench beside him. "Sit, and I'll tell you something about this town." Curious, Emma sat down. He introduced himself as Henry and explained an old Maplewood tradition she had never heard about. "During the first big snowfall," he said, "people here write their wishes on little scraps of paper and tuck them into the snow. They say the snow carries the wishes into the earth, where they grow into something real." Emma laughed softly. "That sounds like a fairy tale." "Maybe it is," Henry replied. "But sometimes a little belief is all it takes to change things." That night, Emma couldn't stop thinking about what Henry had said. On a whim, she wrote her own wish on a piece of paper. "I wish I could feel at home again." She tucked it into the snow outside her dad's bookstore and walked away, feeling a little silly, but lighter. Over the next few days, something shifted. Neighbors she hadn't seen in years stopped to chat. She helped her dad reorganize the shelves at the bookstore, rediscovering old favorites and laughing at memories. For the first time in years, Emma wasn't rushing. She wasn't restless. On Christmas Eve, the whole town gathered for a lantern walk. Families carried glowing lanterns, their light bouncing off the snow as they walked to the frozen pond. Emma joined them, holding her own lantern, her heart unexpectedly full. Henry was there too, standing by the pond with his journal. When he saw Emma, he smiled. "Did you make your wish?" "I did," Emma said. "But I think it's already coming true." Henry's eyes twinkled. "Funny how that works, isn't it?" As they stood together, the snow began to fall again, soft and quiet. Emma looked around at the faces lit by lanterns, the frost-covered trees, and the stillness of the pond. For the first time in years, she felt at peace, and in the silent snowfall, she realized she had found her way back home. The moral of the story: sometimes, slowing down and embracing simple moments can help us reconnect with ourselves and what truly matters. A little hope and belief, even in small things, can guide us to find peace and a sense of belonging.